Warm welcome, grade 5 families. This is grade 5 back to school night. When we asked our 5th graders to share and describe their experience in grade 5 in the last 3 weeks of school in one word or few words, these were some of the words that they shared with us, and some of the emojis. Fun and tiring. Some of them are feeling fun and tired, but mostly joyful, energized, enthusiastic, fun, interesting experience so far. It warms our hearts as teachers to see our students back to school, even when we are in continuous learning mode, connected campus learning. We are a community of 60 fabulous students this year who are supported by 12 lucky teachers. And our student community represents 15 nationalities. Altogether, our community is spread across 13 different countries. And here's a peek at where in the world is our grade 5 community. So we can take just a quick look at this pie chart. Next slide, please. This is our learning community of teachers. And like I said, I'm one of the 4 home-based teachers, and JC Romero and I teach and plan reading and writing together. And we are fortunate to have a wonderful support for teaching assistants, Deepa Nair and Arti Baluja. Susan Vernon and Saguna Mehra are the other 2 home-based teachers, and they plan and teach topic studies and math. And they're supported by their teaching assistants, Meet Kaur and Shagun Kapoor. Our EL support teacher is Shafali, and her teaching assistant, Shilpa Brawl. Right on the top row is our newest member of AES, Jen Crawford, and she is our learning support teacher. This screenshot is one of our planning meetings on Zoom, and we had the privilege of having Diana Jamian, our teaching and learning coach, join us. So we're delighted to welcome you tonight at our grade 5 back to school night. And now I'm going to invite Deepa Nair to introduce herself.
Hello, grade 5 family. My name is Deepa Nair, and I work with Kavita Gulati in Kerala, home base. I have been an educator for past 30 years, and this is my 9th year in AES. I would like to pass it on to Miss Arti.
Hello, grade 5 families. My name is Arti Baluja, and I work with Senior Romero in Goa home base. I have been working in AES for the past 18 years, and this is my 15th year in grade 5. I'm going to now pass it on to Ms. Shagun Kapoor.
Hello, grade 5 families. My name is Shagun Kapoor, and I'm co-teacher with Susan Vernon in Assam home base. I've been an educator for last 25 years, and this is my 15th year at AES. Now, I'm going to pass it on to Miss Meet.
Hello, grade 5 families. My name is Meet Kaur, and I work with Ms. Saguna Mehra in Kashmir home base. I've been an educator for the past 20 years, out of which 10 years at AES. And now I would like to pass it on to Senior Romero.
Hello, families. My name is Senior Romero, and welcome. Here we have, in grade 5, we have a partnership where we're going to be working with parents and students, and we're going to be able to be connected through collaboration, and we want to make sure that communication is open so that we can help students become the learners that we want here at AES. And what are those attributes that we want to encourage? We want to go to the active thinker. And what is an active thinker? A person who asks questions, who is flexible in their thinking, who listens attentively and participates in class, and shares ideas in order to grow their own thinking. The resilient learner profile, where a person strives to multiple strategies and solutions, perseveres through facing challenges, and uses feedback to change their thinking and behavior, pursuing their own interests and always learning. And the global citizen profile, where we want them to be able to honor diversity within school communities, take responsibilities for their own behavior and consequences, use strategies to manage emotions and resolve conflicts, show respect and kindness to themselves and others. Now we would like to pass this on to Ms. Saguna.
Thank you, JC, and hello, everyone. This slide titled Connected Campus Learning, or our online learning model, of course, has student learning at the heart of what we are trying to focus on in grade 5. You know how a human heart has 4 chambers? Our online learning model also has 4 chambers that are all equally important. Connections, social connections, emotional connections, academic connections. We try to build those with our kids on a daily basis through our content lessons. Our specialists jump in and help us achieve that, or through our very important and special home-based meetings where we socially interact with our kids. We do playful learning activities with them, and in all of this, we are building connections with our kiddos. Second chamber is called collaboration, where we work together. My mom would say, you want to travel fast? Go alone. But if you want to go far, you've got to work together. And it's the latter we are trying to achieve with our students in terms of their learning. We come together as a team, teacher to teacher. In the hindsight, they'll plan together and present a lesson. Our EL teachers will meet with our home-based teachers like Ms. Gulati, Ms. Shafali, JC, Shilpa, and they'll put a lesson together or a unit together for our kids' learning. Student to student will work together and make their learning stronger. Teacher and student might work in a small group collaborative model and work toward student learning. Feedback, so important, where a teacher would inform their students as to what they did, but in a very safe way, starting with a compliment, giving some descriptive feedback, and also talking about the next step. A student could give teacher feedback that I got this, but I didn't get this, and the teacher might just think through how might I alter my lesson to make my instruction more effective. Finally is the reflection piece where, okay, 4 things were taught to me, I got 3. How do I get that 4th thing in? And that shows growth mindset. It might also go with goal setting. And in all of this, there is student learning that's happening. What does learning look like in grade 5? Well, on any typical day, it's a great blend of synchronous and asynchronous learning. If you take a moment and look through all the words that are so interspread here, they're in 2 colors, green and white. Green is the live lesson format in terms of various activities that we do with our kids. And of course, asynchronous is the application of the live lesson that we have done with our kids in on that day, or for that matter, last week, and now we are asking them to apply it. So some of the examples of synchronous learning might be the content Zoom lesson, home-based meeting, EAL support, learning support, teacher conferences, teacher-facilitated small groups in math or reading. Asynchronous, like I just said, it's the application of the synchronous one, where a kid at their own time can work on an activity which is posted on Seesaw, or could be putting his or her thoughts down via Padlet or Flipgrid. I'll now pass on to Ms. Vernon, who will talk about our social studies, science, and math units for this semester.
Topic studies in 5th grade is all about 21st century skills. We develop evidence-based thinking. We examine issues of social responsibility and cultural, global, and environmental awareness. And we gain and practice self-direction, taking greater responsibility for self-management. Throughout our learning, we hone communication skills that open the door to collaboration. We grow our thinking through listening to the thinking of others. We started this year focused on social emotional intelligence, which research has shown is a better predictor of success than IQ. Later, we will move from self to others in our next social studies unit on the theme of freedom. We will examine the roots of human rights, historical and modern day slavery, and then today's issues of equity. Our science work focuses on science and engineering practices, such as modeling concepts, crafting and critiquing scientific arguments, and obtaining, evaluating, and communicating information. The large themes center around the concepts of systems and the relationship between energy and matter. We start with a look at our Earth system and the interaction between the 4 spheres: hydrosphere, geosphere, atmosphere, and biosphere. We then move to examine how energy flows through matter in ecosystems. Moving on to math, 5th grade math lays the groundwork for proportional reasoning. Students develop greater flexibility with the idea of units. For example, easily renaming 2 as 2/10 in order to fully understand the idea of regrouping. Borrowing is what we used to call it in the base 10 system. Semester 1 is all about operations with whole numbers and decimals. We focus on increasing the menu of models we use to show our thinking. We utilize a workshop model that follows a pattern of warm-up tasks, application problem, and a cool down that extends our thinking a bit further. Students use a structure, CER, presenting a claim, which is another way of saying an answer, and then providing supporting mathematical evidence and their reasoning, how they know they are correct in their approach, and that their answer is reasonable. May I have the next slide, please? And we're going to be partners with you in this. We are working right now one-on-one with every student so that we know them intimately as mathematical thinkers. And through their work, we're going to develop individualized plans for home learning that will include fact fluency practice where needed, as well as procedural practice. I'm now going to pass to Kavita.
Thank you, Susan. This visual right here really explains the heart of the workshop model, which begins with a mini lesson, and that essentially is the teaching point for that day. In the current scenario, the independent practice looks like what students get to do on Seesaw. So that's the asynchronous time of practicing independently that particular strategy or skill that they learn through that teaching point. And at the end of the workshop is a way for teachers to really capture the power of that teaching point. What have the students learned? And more importantly, also to give the students the satisfaction of an audience. So share is a big piece of our workshop model. The conferences are really the heart of literacy instruction. And the most powerful way of helping our readers and writers grow is to have the teacher and student one-on-one conference. That also gives teachers a chance to differentiate instructions and respond to the individual readers and writers' needs. On the other hand, small group and peer-to-peer conferences, we see that as an entry point for providing social emotional support through literacy, where learners come together, make connections with each other, and support each other's learning, build on each other's ideas, and in turn extend their own ideas. So conferences, again, is a central piece. And then at the end, we come together to do self-reflections about our reading and writing practices. And as a community, celebrate that end of the unit. So that's that's how typical writing and reading workshop looks like. Next slide. For reading workshop this year, these are the year-long goals and hopes for reading and writing workshop. As we plan reading instruction, we focus on the skills and strategies the students need to navigate their books, to read with fluency and comprehension while expanding vocabulary. Most importantly, we want to be able to support the students in ways that they're more likely to love to read and engage with books, even when nobody's making them do so. So student agency is the core of our workshop model. We want to build independent student readers and inspire readers. Finally, the accountable book talks. There is nothing joyful and no deep comprehension without having someone to talk about your books. So through the year, we'll create platforms like book talks, through book clubs, discussion forums like Padlets and Flipgrids to encourage students to come together and share what they're reading, recommend books to each other. On the other hand, for Writers Workshop, our hope is to encourage ideas for really rallying our writers to make their own decisions about what kinds of writing they want to do this year. We're very excited to launch this year with our own personal writer's notebook. That's their personal little notebook they can carry and bring wherever they want to so that they can collect those entries throughout the year. We've also co-authored some writing agreements with our students, like writing 3 entries in a week, or encourage them to diversify the choice of genres that they're writing. And then as 5th grade writers, we're also setting the stage and getting them ready for 6th grade middle school. And we really want this year for them to pay increased attention to the language conventions. How do you organize paragraphs? How do you put proper punctuation in your writing? How do you strengthen your writing with perfect spellings and so on? So those are the big ideas in our writers workshop and readers workshop this year. And next slide. Parents, here we've put a few key ideas and expectations really about home learning. The first bullet, when we say read 30 minutes daily is research oriented, and we know that everyday reading is important. So that's a non-negotiable. If we have reluctant readers, we encourage them to start small, maybe build with 10 minutes of reading practice and then increase it gradually. Once again, writing. So we want them to be able to write every day in their writer's notebook, but our goal really is to limit like 3 entries at least in a week. And then a few fun ideas for family to engage together. So there are some games to play together. Make a family book movie night. So find movies that are based off of books and enjoy a night together talking about those books, those movies. On the bottom of the screen, we've also tucked in a website. Common Sense Media is a great website for families to find books and movies that are appropriate for your child. And then the communication and partnership with the teachers. So we really encourage that collaboration, and we want to support our readers and writers throughout this year. And now I'd like to pass it on to Shafali.
The primary goal of EL program in the elementary school, in fact, school-wide, is really on encouraging our English language learners to value and maintain their linguistic and cultural identities. With this in mind, we offer support in many ways. We offer a beginner class for those who are absolutely new to English. And this is really a small group setting that promotes motivation and risk-taking. We also offer a world language English class where the focus is on academic language development. In this class, we use the grade level content and use it as a context for academic language development. We also offer multiple opportunities for students to grow and practice in all 4 language domains. And most importantly, we offer support through co-teaching content using a collaborative cycle of co-planning, co-teaching, co-assessing, and co-reflecting. Our priorities haven't really changed in this connected campus learning. We continue to focus on creating a culture of belonging because it is really important for each child to feel valued and included. And that kind of paves the way for learning of any kind. We focus on offering choice and multiple pathways to access content because we realize that all students learn differently. We are also offering frequent check-ins through one-on-one sessions, small group sessions, and whole class meetings. And there are also multiple opportunities for students to reflect, set goals, get feedback, and make plans for how they're going to achieve those goals. In all of this work, I'm very fortunate to be supported by Ms. Shilpa Abrol.
Hello everyone, I'm Shilpa Abrol. This is my 12th year at AES as well as at the EL department, and I co-teach with Ms. Shafali. Now I pass on to Jen.
Hi, grade 5 families. I'm Jen, and this is my first year at AES. I'm so excited to be joining grade 5 as the new learning support teacher. So learning support really is tailored to each individual student's needs, so it can look very different from student to student. Students may receive support in their whole class lessons, in small groups, or in one-to-one sessions outside of class. And during those support interactions, I will work with students in areas that they're challenged by to help them develop stronger skills, to apply those skills in those specific areas, as well as transfer them across to other areas in the hope to achieve greater success across school settings. So I'm super excited for a great year ahead. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Senor Romero.
Hello, families. And how do we keep up with all this information? We go first to our Launchpad. Make sure that your login credentials at Power School for Parents is working. In there, you will find our week at a glance notice, and we will have them updated on a weekly basis. We also will be receiving newsletters. Please make sure that the students are checking in Seesaw, and they can share whatever on the screen is there for you. We are also scheduling Zoom meetings with students and classes, and we're doing one-on-ones. Gmail is our communication system here. All teachers go by first initial, last name, and then at aes.ac.in. Our Instagram account, you can see there, at grade 5 AES. We also have some important dates for you to remember. Report cards will go out in December and in May. Parent student teacher conferences will be in October and March. I want to thank you all, and as soon as we finish this video, we will be going to our Q&A session. Thank you very much.
Right, parents, thank you for joining us and our grade 5 team this evening. For a few minutes, we're here to answer your questions. If you look down at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, you will see the Q&A icon. You can click on that icon and type in your questions, and we are thrilled that you're here and we're ready to answer any questions that you might have. So grade 5 team, great job this evening. I have found that if I keep talking, eventually someone will type in a question just so they don't have to listen to me anymore. So I want to say thank you to all of you for the effort and energy you put into the presentation. And I'll talk a little bit longer. I know that sometimes people are typing their questions in or trying to figure out how to put them into the Q&A. If there's anything that anybody from the team wants to add this evening, go ahead and feel free to do that.
Charles, now that you are thanking everyone, I think on behalf of Grade 5 team, I would like to thank you, Scott, and Ryan for being so supportive and making our back to school night happen for us and our parents.
You're very welcome, Saguna. Thank you, but you're very welcome. And always happy to support the great things that you all are doing and the effort that you're making for the kids. Well, parents, at this time, if we don't have any questions, we're going to say goodnight. We appreciate your attendance and we look forward to the rest of the year. And at this point, we'll say goodbye. So goodbye.
Thank you, parents.
Oh.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
All right. Good evening.
Oh, okay.